Let me sing you a song. What you talking about?
You know what? Nothing you got to play. Nobody wants to
No,
hear
my shit fire. Okay, everybody likes my
that
shit.
every week, and it's never
It's
fire.
always the shit. My shit is always the shit.
But right now, we're playing Kim.
I'm glad.
Kem is Kim.
First of all, I know how to spell his name. That's not a surprise to me.
Hi, Tia.
What's good?
Look who's here.
What's good? We are back at it. Man, it feels like it's been forever.
Of
It really
course, it would
does.
feel like that to you. Now, where were you coming from just now? Look at that. Wait, look at the about time, sir. Right. And then I had to call him for him to get here on time. Okay, we're not going to start this off with argument. Can you hear the music? Hi,
Yeah,
guys.
I absolutely can.
Check on Keisha. Okay. Hi, Cherokee. Okay. So, Dynamicist. Let me pause my music. All right. So, thank you to everybody who's come. Thank you for everybody who watches the replay. This is the Unlatched Podcast. Myself and my cousin. He's on this
Yes.
side. Dynamicist. And you know, this is what we do when we do it. When we show up, this is what we do.
Yes.
We talk about different topics, and we just chill and chop it up with everybody and see how everybody's doing and tell you guys how we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I do have
And
a few topics. Jason, Dynamicist.
yes, yes. We got topics. We got topics. We got plenty of things to see, plenty of things to talk about. Man, I am so happy to be back. Finally back in my chair. What's happening? Yes, we are excited in this motherfucker in a real motherfucking way. Thank you. Hold a round of applause for me, please. Now, Tia, what's happening? Truth. Thank you, Mr. Fuck Your Feelings. I really fuck with that name. I like that. What's good with your Cherokee? What's good, Cuzzo? What's happening? I missed you. What's happening?
I'm not, I'm on I'm on a journey of positivity. He knows how to push my buttons, you guys. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. Why is he doing this? Okay, God. Why is he
No.
so hurt? First of all, he's his own person with his own personality. Okay, can we get started? I'm over it. Come on. I'm Nirvana.
And I am the dynamicist.
And we're
And we're unlatched.
Unlatched.
Yes, yes, we are. Man, I am so sorry about last week, you guys. That was all on me.
We know.
I had been running a hell of a schedule. Sat down. I didn't even go to sleep. I sat down just to chill out for a second. Passed the fuck out. Was out. I didn't wake up till what was it, like 10 o'clock that night or some shit.
Yeah.
It was way late. Woke up disoriented. Like, yo, what the fuck?
Disoriented.
What the fuck happened? But listen, self care is important, and this is this is what I know. And in your 40s, you can't run like you were when you was in your 20s. Yeah, it don't work.
But you
So
consistently try. Why are you blinking?
yeah, because I got
Something.
sweat that keeps running into my eyes.
Why are you sweating?
Because I just got off the golf course. I just went to go play golf, so I went to play
Literally
golf and
just got up.
here. Yeah, I got off the golf course and then came here. I cut my shit short just to make sure I was here on time.
Well, I'm glad you did that.
Because I fucks with it. This is I appreciate everything we do, everything you do. I appreciate the people that come, and I look forward to doing stuff like that, like this. So we'll just manage it the best way we know how. Yes, you do sweat golfing, especially when You walk in a whole fucking golf course. So yeah, absolutely.
Telly
Plus, I
tell.
be what's good, Telly Tell. Plus I be outside with it though. So I mean, I'm there working working my shit out. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna sweat a little bit. You
Mhm.
definitely gonna sweat a little bit.
Is it hot?
Well, it's Vegas, so it's hot for most people. This was actually unbelievably pleasant. Um, Let me see the temperature out here, which again, this is Vegas, so we're like about 85 degrees. It was 92 degrees today, and people
Wow.
don't know how because that's beautiful weather out here. Beautiful weather.
Dang.
Um,
That's hot still.
yeah, well, yeah, for
I
most
guess
people, but for
I'm
us, I mean, niggas is outside biking. They doing everything right now because you look forward to moments like this out here, and you got to take advantage of them.
okay.
So,
What was it here? It was the high here in my city was 87 degrees. Currently 78.
mm, yeah. So look, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was out in New Mexico not too long ago. Spent some time with Cuzzo. Hey, can you hear that? You
Nope.
can't hear nothing.
I can hear you
Let me.
talking. But if it's the soundboard, you could just leave it the way it is.
No, you can't hear it though
Mm-mm.
at all. Why does
Nigga,
my
we
sound?
can't hear it. Why would you continue to ask me that? What? See, now he's doing it on
No,
purpose.
because I was saying I think she probably just saying some shit because she don't want me to play with the soundboard.
No, we really can't hear it. Can you guys hear the soundboard? Okay, I wasn't this distracted. Let's get started. Jason, was there something in
Oh,
particular you wanted to talk about, or did you want me to start?
oh, oh no! You can start, but always, I got plenty of shit to talk about.
Oh my god, yeah, let me go first.
Why
Okay,
is my
let me.
soundboard not playing right? I'm not happy with this.
Okay, look at this, you guys. I want to share this right here. This is very interesting to me. This is my TikTok. Let me. Tell me what you think about this.
Yeah.
You're homeless, right? You're staying in a motel, and you're staying in a motel, and you're homeless right now. Okay, but you want to sit up here and try dating, and and then number one, how old are you? And you recording? You like recording me at your age? I'm recording y'all because I want y'all to know this is a taker right here. Apparently, he trying to take a take. Why does it matter? And you dating? You got a place to stay, right? Dating. You have a place to stay, right? You're home trying to say nothing, but you're dating. And I'm 53 years old. Yeah, but if you're homeless and dating, you need to probably work on yourself, baby, before you start dating. I got a good job. I make almost 6 figures. You make 6 figures. Yeah. Okay. I work hard. I struggled for many years. I'm not ashamed of it, but I got blessed. I got a good job. I make good money. As you see, I'm dressed professional. I got me a new ride over there. Yeah, like I'm making steps. I'm making progress. It's okay, but you're trying to dating. So because I don't have an address, I don't have a house. I'm not trying to say I don't deserve love. Is what you're trying to say? But I mean, you kind of need to let people know that ahead of time to make sure they want to deal with something. Okay, like that. Well, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I felt like it's not nothing for me to put on my profile, but I did feel comfortable enough. Mm-hmm. My bad, because I felt comfortable enough to let him know my situation, the struggles that I have rose above, because I'm rising above, baby. I'm going to have me a place to stay. I'm not going to do all this arguing. And you can record me. Y'all look at him, y'all look at him. You can record, you can do whatever you want to do. But you should let people know that you're homeless before you start dating. And should have let me know that you got that old-fashioned thinking. Like, yeah, whatever. You can say whatever about what y'all I got check him out, check him out. You're dating and you're homeless. Whatever. You should tell people that. You missing out on a good one, baby. I can tell you.
She didn't say shit about your clothes, homie, but I'm fin too.
Staying in a motel and you're homeless right now.
Yes,
So I'm gonna So hi Kent, welcome in. Keep it real. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you guys.
What's
Thank you
good?
guys.
What's
So
good?
we are I'm sharing a video of something I saw on TikTok. I thought it was interesting. My husband and I were kind of chatted about it. I showed him, but I'll play it again. But just to, you know, the synopsis is just what it says. So basically, it's online dating. He finds out because she tells him when she gets to the meeting that she's living in a motel. He considers that to be homeless and feels like he should have been privy to that information before the meetup. Uh, I could play it again if you want, but I'm just interested to know what you think. Jason, were you able? Should I play it again, or were you able to?
Well, excuse me.
Because I actually picked up on something this time when I played it that I didn't pick up on the first time. Interesting in that.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I know the most recent person that came in was the Kents. If they did not see it, yeah, we can definitely do that. We're a close knit family here, so yeah, we have no problems doing that, especially because there's going to be a dialogue that comes as a result of it. So, Kents, if you guys have not seen this or you wanted to see it, please let us know. Put a one in the chat or something along that line. Outside of that, then we can move forward. So we'll give them a second just to try to, type something in. I do have some strong opinions about this, though. Very strong opinions as it relates to social norms and kind of some things that I'm seeing, from my vantage point, things that I'm seeing happen or taking place in this world of dating. I do hear quite often that, you know, people say, as far as dating is concerned, we're cooked, right? And what they're basically referring to is, the game is ultimately changed, and certain norms that we were accustomed to are no longer the same type of scenario. So, Kent, if you guys do want to see it again, please let us know. If not, we'll go ahead and move on.
We
But
could run it again.
I mean, no, they haven't said anything, and everybody else saw it. So here's my thoughts, and I don't know if you wanted me to go first, or did you want to kind of weigh in on it? Okay, so taking the title into consideration, would you date someone who is homeless? Me personally, I probably could. I'm in a certain space right now in my own personal life because there are certain things I don't have together, right? And so I've made a certain decision to kind of sideline myself for the most part. I mean, I'll go out, I'll kick it, have dinner, go out and do drinks or have fun. But when it comes to legitimately courting type scenarios, I feel like there's far too much instability in my life. And one of my big things is I know that for women, stability is important. And I don't even know where I'm going to be at from one moment to the next. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that legitimately because I'm here in Vegas now, but my babies are out of state. I want to be closer to them. I want to have an active place in their life. Um, more of an active role in my kids and grandchildren's life. So, there's that weighs heavy on me. But there's also notions about me going overseas and a lot of different things and a lot of different possibilities. So I'm kind of open to where God wants to lead me. I'm not so sure about taking someone else on that journey because I don't know if they would sign up for all of that, right? Because, who just ups and leaves at the drop of a hat? In my case, you know, there's possibility. So I've personally done that. I get what he's saying to a degree. Hey, if you have some challenges in your life, you should let people know. That one, though, I think that's somewhat petty. And I don't really necessarily agree with that because she's at a point in her journey where she's okay sharing where she's at and what she's going through. And I think that should be applauded for all intents and purposes. I think it takes a lot of courage to be able to say, hey, this is where I live at. But here's what's crazy is, nigga, you just met her today. according to what I understand from this is not like this is the third visit or third meetup. This is the first meetup. And you're saying she's supposed to put that shit on her damn profile or lead with that. Now, you might want to lead with I might be trans or something along that line. You might want to lead with something that could be jarring for majority of people if that's not your thing. But to say, yeah, I'm homeless, she's not homeless. She's not living under a bridge. She has a whatever little hotel, motel she's staying in, and she working shit out. She figuring it out in whatever way. And then she pulls up in the truck. Who gives a fuck? Some people make their whole lifestyle and they live outside of a van or whatever it might be. That's not being homeless. She's actually doing exceptionally well, according to what the traditional standards are right now. Oh, yeah. And yeah, she's 53, but a lot of shit happens. Matter of fact, I was just reading some research material on the homeless epidemic out here. And they were talking about how many homeless people are veterans, former movers and shakers that were executives. And then, man, they hit a bad spot and they just gave up and just said, fuck it. I'm not even trying anymore. In her case, she's still out here moving and she's still trying to figure it out. So I think that's absolutely ridiculous, personally. Yeah, and it's much cheaper. Living out your car is much cheaper. As a matter of fact, I heard a guy say this, and he was a financial guy. Excuse me. He said, you should always, if it came down between your home and your car, choose your car. And it seemed counterintuitive to a degree, but when he explained it, it made sense. He said, transportation is your ability to have legs to get you from one place to the next, whether it's job interviews, whether it's getting resources, whether it's going to check out something different, get to a new location, whatever. He said having transportation or a means of transportation is optimal because you can get a great job, but if you can't get to it, then what good is it? And you got this home, but you need money to now take care of that home. And your mortgage is likely going to be much higher than the maintenance of a car. So your overhead would be higher. And he was basically breaking it down. He said it's always a wiser investment. Put your money into your car. Fuck the house. You can get another house. You can get another home. You can sleep in your car if you need to. You can go to gyms and shower. There's a lot of ways that people are using to make do and make the best out of their situation rather than, the idea of just sitting in a home and then waiting for them to throw your shit out on the streets. That's ridiculous to me. And here in Vegas, the numbers are going through the roof as far as people that are losing their homes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then having foreclosures take place and then people putting all their shit outside. Nah, I would say I like what she's doing. And I don't think that's a deal breaker. And I don't think that's something that needs to be disclosed unless your ass trying to move in. And I don't know what his deal was. This nigga showed up to the first date in flip-flops with no socks. Come on, man. With no sleeves, with a medium shirt on and undersized pants. Is he even fucking kidding me right now? Stop playing.
He looks like Big Daddy.
No, he doesn't. Because if that's the case, then he looks like me, and that's not even close to the case.
I'm going to play it again. Are you done? I'm going to look at it again so I can have my commentary. I'm going to play it again.
Okay, but you want to sit up here and try dating, and then number one, how old are you and you recording? You like recording me at your age.
I'm recording y'all because I want y'all to know this is a taker right here. Apparently he's trying to take.
A take?
Why does it matter?
Why
does that matter? You got a place to stay, right?
He said a take.
dating.
You have a place
how
to
old
stay,
and
right?
you're home? Trying to say nothing, but you're dating. And
I'm 53 years old.
Yeah, but if you're homeless and dating, you need to probably work on yourself before you start dating.
I got a good job. I make almost 6 figures.
You make 6 figures.
Yeah.
Okay.
I work hard. I struggled for many years. I'm not ashamed of it, but I got blessed. I got a good job. I make good money. As you see, I'm dressed professional. I got me a new ride over there. Yeah, like I'm making steps. I'm making progress.
It's okay, but you're trying to dating.
So because I don't have an address, I don't have a house,
I'm not trying to
I don't deserve love, is what you're trying to say?
But I mean, you kind of need to let people know that ahead of time to make sure they want to deal with something like that. Well, that's what you want to do, that's fine.
I felt like it's not nothing for me to put on my profile, but I did feel comfortable enough. Mm-hmm. My bad, because I felt comfortable enough to let him know my situation, the struggles that I have rose above, because I'm rising above, baby. I'm going to have me a place to stay.
I'm not going to do all this arguing. And you can record me.
Y'all look at him, y'all. Look at him.
You can record, you can do whatever you want to do. But you should let people know that you're homeless before you start dating.
They should have let me know that you got that old-fashioned thinking.
You can say whatever about what
y'all
I got.
Check him out. Check him out.
You're dating and you're homeless.
Whatever.
You shouldn't tell people that.
You missing out on a good one, baby. I can tell you that much.
I just miss out. That's fine.
Peace.
You're standing in a motel.
I just miss out.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, I guess for me, it's like, would I date someone? First of all, you talked about, or even people in the comments talked about several different things. So, number one, what is the definition of homeless? So, I know that people have their opinions on what homeless means is different, right? Now, one thing I found interesting is she didn't stop him to say, I'm not homeless. She never corrected him on that, as if to say, yeah, maybe you do consider me homeless, or maybe I am. Maybe in her mind, she is homeless. Because then she goes to defend herself and say, I'm going to have me a place to stay. Mm-hmm. So that tells me that she considers it to be a form of homelessness herself. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, based on the fact that you didn't correct him. With that being said, if they both agree, let's say that she is in a state of homelessness, okay, experiencing homelessness, I should say, it means it's just a moment in her life and time. And I don't think he didn't sound like he was more offended or upset that wasn't disclosed. More so, and she kept saying, well, I can't have love because I'm homeless. That's what she said. So he never said that. He never said she couldn't have love. His only position was that I wanted to know before I came to this meeting, because apparently, based on his reaction, that would have changed whether he saw her or not. Okay. So with that being said, before I go into anything else, I guess, I feel like, okay, number one, would I date someone who lived out, instead of using the word homeless, I'm just going to say lived in a motel or a hotel? The answer is probably no for me. And I don't know if it would change if that's because I'm a woman or not. I don't know. But for me, it's you're in a transitional place in your life. Okay. For me, it's a sign of instability, and I get it, right? I also feel like for me, I would want a man who is stable. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that presents to me that there is some instability in your housing situation. And maybe we could talk about it if I really like you enough. But in this situation, they met online. They don't know each other from a can of paint. So there is no investment here.
Yeah.
I'm not obligated to want to get to know you. It's just like a person saying, I don't want to date you because you're overweight. I don't like, I'm not interested in a woman who is overweight. That happens a lot, right? Um, should I, in my profile, I guess, it would it be not fair. I don't know if I could compare the two. I'm just saying in the sense that people have opinions on what
Yeah.
they will or what they're willing to tolerate or what they're interested in or not. And they're entitled to that. He's entitled to not want, he didn't, I got 6 figures. I got a new car. None of that matters. Nobody asked you about that. None of that. That's not his argument. His argument is that you did not disclose that you are misplaced at this time with where your living situation. Now, we can agree that that may be shallow. We could agree with that. That you could be missing out on a really good person, because a lot of people, they say, are one paycheck away from being in her
A
position.
lot.
And
A
that
lot.
is his right to miss out on that. He's not interested. In this situation, my thing is everybody wasted their time. He wasted his time, she wasted her time, because I think that that's a big piece of your situation. Like, I think that that should be disclosed. Now, whether you should put it in your profile or not, I think that's a bit of a stretch. But you guys have obviously spoken on the phone. Like, that, to me, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that just, like, it's no big deal. Like, I want to know, why are you misplaced? What happened? You know, uh, you're 53 years old and you're living in a motel. Why is that? There could be a very good reason for that. You see what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
you don't give me the opportunity to make that decision for myself before I put my slides on and my clothes and come over here and meet you. And then I think it's off-putting that you throw the phone in my face and you start recording me because I have an issue. He wasn't rude. He didn't call her out of her name. Like, but you throw the phone up and then you want to put them on blast and put them on the internet. To me, that speaks of there's a level of immaturity there. And so now I have another problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now there's another issue. I don't want, fuck it. You could have other place. Now you're childish. So I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So I guess my answer is no. I wouldn't date anybody who's homeless or misplaced. Just because of what I just said. Does
So
that make them a bad person? No. Now, what if I knew him already and he became misplaced? That's different. But you're
okay.
just a stranger on the internet. I'm not vested in any way. I can move on. It's the fucking internet. I'm not wasting time at 53 years old or whatever age I
Okay. So if I hear you correctly, you're saying you agree with his stance
am.
solely though because
Mm-hmm.
hey, he's entitled to have it.
I agree with it. What I say solely? I don't know. I don't necessarily. The part I agree with is that is just that I would want to know that too. I agree with that. I agree with that's something that I feel like could save a lot of people time if that was disclosed at some point in the conversation, unless you guys haven't even talked on the phone and he's willing to meet you without even having a conversation with you, then, because I mean,
Uh,
I feel like that's basic conversation. I mean, if we're in our
yeah,
50s,
but like who's asking your living situation? Now I might ask
I
like
am.
I could see about you asking, okay, are you with somebody? There's this one
Who do
statement
you
I've
live
heard.
with?
Yeah, I've heard people say this, and it was actually pretty neat. Was female said, "Are you single or something like that?" And the guy said, "Yeah," and then she said, "Does anyone else think differently?" or something along that line.
Right.
You know what I mean? Type shit.
What else think different? Right.
Yeah, it was something along that line, and I thought that was actually pretty interesting the way to approach that. And I,
Uh-huh.
and I get it. And so to your point, people are entitled for whatever reason, but I think if we're looking at a holistic standpoint, right? And we're saying holistically, what dating looks like. Dating is getting to know. If you're getting to that point and you're getting to know someone,
Mhm.
then again, something like that I think could be considered fairly trivial because there's always context, and that's one thing I talk about a lot. Um, Context makes a difference. So is it you're here because you chose to? Is it here because, again, what if she went through a horrible ass divorce and she lost everything? Right? We didn't even get that far. That makes a difference because, again, rather than you being a situation where you're mismanaging or misappropriating your funds, actually you're more of a survivor in that respect because you have and I would say that you have a great strength of character because you've chosen not to give up. You've chosen to be okay with, hey, I'm gonna start this motherfucker over, right? And I'm gonna build back up from ground zero. That's different than a person who is in a situation because, okay, you had a bad gambling addiction, right? And this is not, it's not addressed. You had a bad shopping addiction. It's not addressed. You still have that said shopping addiction. So then in my mind, as a person who, okay, if I'm dating somebody, right, if I let you onto my ship, you could sink my ship. You become a liability, not an asset. So if this is okay, then when we date, then it's also appropriate for people to now say, I'd like to see your credit report. Because
If what
then
is okay? You said if this is okay. What's
yeah,
this?
if this shit right here, this nigga's comment about, well, you should put this on your profile or you should have this, that, and the third and tell people, nigga, she told you the first time you met. This
Hmm.
ain't the seventh meeting.
Right, right.
Right? And again, that's a private detail of her life. You're not entitled to know that.
Hmm.
You're getting to know me. We ain't fucking
Her
today.
feelings were hurt. I think that's why she pulled out the camera. And to your point, it's the first meeting. So he's finding out. And I think it's okay for him to walk away on the first meeting. He wasn't, she pulled the camera out once he said he he had an issue with not knowing. So
Hmm.
because he said that, she pulls the camera out and puts it in his face and starts telling everybody how fucked up of a person he is because he's not interested. That's not
Okay.
fair.
That's not
That's
fair.
not
I
fair.
agree. That part is not
He
fair too.
wasn't. He didn't call you a bitch. You didn't, because if he did, I'm sure you would have told us that. You pulled the camera out. The only reason you pulled the camera out is because he wasn't okay with your living situation, and you felt like he should be because you've overcome and you well. Listen, man. eh, there's another. I was seeing something else that was coming across my feed a lot. What it was saying. No one cares, and that's the truth in a lot of situations. And it's like, your situation is your situation. No one cares. They don't have to care that you're
Mm-hmm.
going through
Well,
this and that and whoopty wham. It's like, but don't be mad at them. Just move on. Why are we
yeah.
going so far? And no, it shouldn't be. Obviously, nobody should have access to your personal information, your social security number. I mean, none of that. But I mean, he believes he should have known before the meeting. And to your point, not necessarily, sir.
Yeah.
She told you the very first time she saw you. Now that's semantics. Whether she tells you on the phone versus telling you in your face, at the end of the day, she told you the first time she saw
And I respect the fact that she told him in his face,
you. Yeah.
rather than sending him a message on IM or sliding his DM saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm homeless," type shit.
Mhm.
But again, she's not fucking homeless.
Right. This is the person who's putting it. Nobody's. Well, he said homeless, and she
Yeah.
did. She didn't dispute it. Now, I did see that back and forth. Now that brings us to the next thing. I did see that. There is there a difference between homeless and they say something like experiencing homelessness. I didn't dive into what the differences would be, but I mean, homeless. What is it like? She has a place to stay. She's paying for a room. It's just like somebody having room and board, right? Like those people have a room and board. Like they're not renting. Maybe they're just renting a room.
Hey, listen, there's people that do it on cruise ships.
A room. Is he
There's
homeless?
there's people that do it on cruise ships and they live on a cruise ship and that's what they do. They just live there all year long and they go from port to port, sea to sea, blah, 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 completely detached from all of the traditional ideas of home ownership to different ideas of what it is to have a dwelling place, right?
Yeah.
My dad told me something. My dad used to be homeless, quote unquote. But he said, you know what? When I was out there, he said it was the most free I've ever been. And he said, believe it or not, there are more people out there that choose this lifestyle than that don't. And he said, you run into people who had hard times. He said, but there's a lot of people out here that, man, it's free. We know where to go get food at. We know how to go get this and that. And he said, and nobody is demanding your time. You're free to just, hey, again, I don't have all those other luxuries, but the reality is, as a species, most of those luxuries that we're forced to pay for are not necessary for existence. They're really not. Because if you look historically as humans, I mean, we've survived, we've made it. We're creatures, we're animals, no different than any other species on this planet. So, whether I live in the tree, he said, shit. And I remember him taking me to a tree that people lived in that was hollowed out. Nobody did that. I think something was going on with the tree or whatever it was. But long story short, it was a perfect space to protect you from rain and blah, blah, blah. And, they would go in and just sleep there and kick it there and then go out, get food and forage or whatever the fuck they did out there. But they lived an existence that was free from constraint. And there's a lot to be said about that. So could you call them homeless? You could. But would that be accurate? I don't think it would be because it's a chosen space.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Right?
I consider it homeless if you're living in a tree. But I mean,
no, yeah, but you're considering it homeless because you're basing it on your view of what a home is.
What I consider to be a home.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's very subjective and it's only based on your point of view. Because we could also say that them niggas that live over there in Afghanistan in them little shanties are homeless. But are they though? Because that's a way of living. There's people that live underground. That's a way of living.
I'm sure you can. And at the end of the day, if you choose to live like that, that's anybody. In any situation you choose to live in, if you're happy, go for it.
I mean, if you're happy, that's it. And I think that's the message. And that's akin to something that I believe in across the board. It's like you have to do what's best for you. Because as far as we know, we're only in this motherfucker one time. As far as we know, right? Now, I do believe I've been here before. I believe some of us have been here before. But that being said, I don't have any scientific proof to suggest this. It's just my own assumption, my own belief. That being said, I do understand that because I don't know what happens after this form of me expires, what I do know is, well, I'm certain age and I'm getting older, and as a part of aging comes this transition. I know those things happen. I have enough examples to prove that. So as far as we know is one time, but again, if I'm not happy in my existence, then what the fuck am I doing this for?
Right.
Now, I would have loved to be on the other end of that conversation because I think that was a great opportunity for her. And it also tells me that potentially she hasn't really owned this aspect of her journey. But if I was working with her, my thing would be is about you owning this part of your journey. Because again, what people define something as is what they define it as, but that don't mean it has to be that for you. I tell people when it comes to my name, you can call me whatever you want, but the truth of the matter is what I answer to is what makes the difference. So call me Jason if you want to. If I answer, then I did. If I don't answer, then I don't. Call me Jason. Call me a motherfucker. Call me a bitch. Call me whatever you want to call me. But what I answer to, that's my responsibility. And I think that's the freedom that we have, that you have to be able to exercise, right? In every aspect, in every part of our existence, is exercising what I call individuality.
Yeah,
Right?
do you? But I'm not dating nobody
Do
who's
you?
misplaced. You said yes, you would. If
I,
depending on context,
Depending on the context, yeah.
I'm
Depending on context, I don't think that would matter because again,
saying,
if I like you and I'm interested in you, your living condition doesn't determine that.
yeah,
And I could see that in a variety of different contexts though. Because
right.
again, I'm
Right, and it's a personal choice for everybody, that's for sure. Okay, so then what was the other thing? Wait, it was one more thing about that scenario. The homeless, whether you would date somebody who was homeless or not, was considered to be homeless. Shoot, it left me. But okay, so in theory, we have about 20 minutes left, or we could go over a little bit. I'm okay with that. Now, Jason, I did have a backup just in case she didn't have anything. But did you have something you wanted to share? I mean, I made one that I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about that homeless thing.
Yeah, I do actually, and I am trying to see if I can share my screen.
Okay.
And see if it shows up. And it looks like it won't show my desktop because I have something I wanted to show on my desktop.
Can you give us a tour of your beautiful home? Is that a grand piano? Oh, that's a backdrop.
Oh, first of all, she didn't ask you. She asked me.
Okay, I'll let you
Let's talk about this.
We only got 20 minutes.
No, this is the part of the podcast because this is what people do. You take an opportunity to say, "Oh no, that's not real, nigga." She wasn't talking to you.
You was gonna tell her it was real?
Who knows what I was going to tell her? But here's what we know now. that you jumped at the opportunity to say, "Oh no, that's not real."
I thought you were looking for something, and I was just trying to answer her question and entertain the comments. While you
to me, that sounds like a little hater. I hate a little haterism. So let's keep it real. It is a green screen. I do like pianos. That's why it's in the background because one day I want to learn how to play pianos. So there's a storyline that goes with why I specifically have this one in my background. So I did want to share that. Now, let's get back to this hate that I seem to run into periodically. Thank you. It is beautiful. Yes, I would love my fireplace is actually going to look like that when it's done. And I'll be able to show pictures of that one. And my furniture, actually, not the brown shit, but the white. I like white furniture or cream color furniture. Anyway.
Yes, Susan, I agree with that. Home is where you place your heart. You never know if that homeless person is your person. Yes, ma'am. I agree with that.
No, you don't agree. You don't agree.
On, just play your story.
She doesn't agree, Susan. She clearly said if they're homeless, according to her definition, she's not dating them. And she's moving on completely. Yes. Yeah, Susan, yes. I see. Susan they don't make them like Susan. Yeah, not anymore. They don't make them like her because that's a real woman right there. That right there. I respect that, Susan. And I really love that. She said, listen, hey, we could do it together. Fuck it. I'm with you, Susan. So listen, I got a chance to go to New Mexico and I wanted to share a video with you guys. But I don't seem to see how I can do that. Maybe I could have sent it to my Instagram and then showed it like that, but I didn't. And I got an opportunity to go to a place called White Sands. So If you have not seen this, you have to see this. I'm going to post a video of it or a montage of some images and pictures, but it was absolutely fucking gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And it was a surreal experience because in this space in New Mexico is, as far as the eye can see, is nothing but blue sky and white sand. And you would think from the images that I've shown and the people that I've shown, it was like, man, where are you at? Like, that's not here. It has to be somewhere overseas. Well, no, it's actually here in the U.S. And there's a lot of these hidden gems that we have right here locally that we don't always take advantage of. Now, in saying that, we had an interesting interaction on this trip. And there were 3 of us going on this trip that signed up to go. But one of us decided to cop an attitude about the drive, the length of the drive, the fact that I don't do outside. I didn't really want to go, but I didn't want to be left out. Now, here's the interesting piece about that.
He's talking about me. Just come on.
Here's the interesting piece about that is this. All of our journeys looks different. And one of the things that I'm a firm believer in is giving people the space to be them. And I say this all the time. I don't mind you doing what you do or being how you are. I can choose not to participate, though. So I don't have to participate in your story. I don't have to participate in the madness, in your madness again. And I'm not directing this towards her in this particular instance. This is just across the board. Doesn't matter what it is. But even in this one was like, I would have been okay with you choosing to stay home. But if you choose to go, I don't think it's fair to choose to go and then bring anything less than the energy that will be appropriate for the moment. So, especially because the other people involved were excited and doing the fucking driving, the 4 hours. Completely. Up there and back. 8, if you put it all together. Same day, by the way. Not one complaint from that person. But the person riding had all kinds of shit to say. So one of the things I was going to say about that is this, and I'd like to weigh like that. Would you like to weigh in on this subject matter?
No,
not at all. Okay, I didn't think so. So here's what I would say: you're going to be tasked with this type of scenario in life, right? Because you're human, because you have things to go. You may be married, you may be have a friend, you might be a caregiver, you could just be a parent, whatever the case may be. People are entitled to feel however the fuck they want to feel about whatever it is. Yes, we are. We're actually blood cousins, and she actually was
removed after this motherfucker get.
she's
removed when this motherfucker shut down.
She actually was like my big sister growing up. Like, no shit, we lived next door to each other and shit. But so people, will have that, and I see this so often. And I talk to people who are having these scenarios where, I really want to do this, but, and it's always these buts, right? And these buts are always based on someone else that you have the supposed expectation that they're supposed to do it or be okay with you doing it too. And that's just not the case.
Wait, say that part again so I can follow it. Wait, say
I said it's always based on these buts about someone else or someone's expectation of supposedly being able or supposed to be doing it with you or be happy for you doing it. For instance, husbands and wives, I love to go here. I like to go on cruises, but I like to go to parks, but I like to go to shows and see fucking cats or some shit, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, and those butts are often related to someone else that
Somebody else.
you are, somebody else that you're associated or you feel attached to.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that you cannot live your life based on that. And it's okay to allow them to have that feeling. I don't like fucking shows. I don't like niggas running around in leotards. I don't want to be a part of that. But it's okay for you to do that. And if that's what you want to do and you want to go and have that experience, then go have that experience, right? Enjoy that time. I'm gonna be here watching TV on my motherfucking lazy boy. Whatever the case may be, that's okay. But to stand in the way of someone wanting to do something, I think is extremely unfair. And I think when we live our lives based on that, you'll find that you're going to limit so many opportunities that would be open for you, and opportunities and doors that are open specifically for you because you have already said that this is what you want to do. And then we complain because we feel like the universe doesn't listen or God doesn't listen, but God does listen. The universe does listen, and the universe responds. At no point did I know that that place was going to hold as much significance to me that it did. I had no clue. As a matter of fact, it was told that they were going to go before I even got there. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is. I don't know what to expect. And they asked me on the way there, it was like, it said, hey, did you look this place up? And I said, no, I don't look stuff up like that because I just want to be surprised. Like I just want to go for the journey. And I enjoy the journey because I'll stay present in that moment. And then everything, I'm like a kid in a candy store looking at fucking empty ass land on the way there. And I'm like, ooh, that's fascinating, right? But that's me. And it's okay for me to be me. And it's okay for my cousin to not want to do that shit. I think the one thing I will say though, I think for a lot of people is that you allow, just because someone close to you, someone you love, someone you care about, someone you genuinely would have fun with doing different things, if that's not their shit, don't force them into that. Give them the room to just say, nah, I'm cool. And let them just be. And you go off and have that experience. And you never know the people that you'll meet on that journey. I've met so many people just casually, meeting them in the airport. Don't matter where I'm at, I'll meet people and we'll have great conversation and it'll be what it is. Fortunately, we had great conversation on the way up there, great conversation on the way back, listened to some good music, had an unbelievable vibe. And it did not stay that whole way. She actually self-corrected herself and actually enjoyed an aspect of it. And at the end of the day, she said, I'll never do this again, but I was glad to do it at least this one time. And that's all you can ask for from a person, really. And the maturity to know, hey, listen, this is my shit. There's your shit. There's our shit. I'm not gonna make my shit your shit. And that I can say legitimately was a response, and I appreciated that shit so much because one person's energy can fuck up a whole vibe for the people that surround it. And so, but that's not the case in this scenario. But I will say though that it was a beautiful experience, and I wanted to share that with you guys at least so you can see what this place looks like, because it New Mexico, for all intents and purposes, was truly a hidden gem.
You
Truly a
think so?
hidden gem.
Yeah, a
I
lot of
do.
people don't. They don't. They don't know a lot about it. Period. I mean, I know I didn't know anything about it before I moved here, but
New Mexico in general.
yeah. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm still feel like a tourist for the most part.
I lived in Hawaii for years and I didn't take advantage of it. I didn't
You
take
did, really?
advantage. Huh?
Oh, you drove by it. You said you drove
No,
by it.
I lived in Hawaii for
Oh,
years,
Hawaii.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I did not take advantage of it. I lived in Georgia. I started to take advantage of it a little bit, but nothing on the level that I take advantage of
But
Vegas and
it's because
Nevada.
you were younger then, so
I just didn't know. I didn't, and during those times, I didn't give myself permission to experience. That didn't happen until I got to a different level of maturity, because I realized most of the shit that I didn't do was because I didn't have somebody to do it with me. So whereas now I'm more apt to just go. Like, I signed up for a nature group. Does anybody in our family fuck with nature like that? No. Nobody does. Nobody could give two fucks about it. And as a matter of fact, and nor were we raised like that. Like, we didn't go to parks and shit as kids. Like, not just outside to be outside.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's not how
Our
we were raised.
grandparents didn't garden. I mean, but
No, they didn't do none of that.
Granddaddy did, and
That-
Granddaddy and Auntie Vi did. She
yeah,
loved
and as a matter of fact, Granddaddy played golf.
right.
So I was just telling my brother about, or Richard, about that you know, your great grandfather, he played golf. He was an avid golfer and owned businesses and gardened and shit like that. So there's a part of that that could still be running through you as well. So that's why I'm a big fan of. Let me say this too, from a generational standpoint, you have to give yourself exposure, because what you'll find is that sometimes you'll tap into something from several generations before you that you didn't realize that was already coursing through your veins. Like, you have a proclivity for this. A good example of that was noticing that, and cousin, I don't know if you know this, but you know how Granddad owned pharmacies, right? Back in the day. Melanie, my sister, works in pharmacy, and she's worked in pharmacy for like 20 something years. Just did it. Like, that was the field she grew towards. Our grandfather both my grandfathers were both Navy. I didn't go that route, but what was interesting is that I see aspects of their things that they did in me. For instance, one of my other grandfather owned a landscaping company. Well, I did too. I didn't even know this. Like, I had no idea that he did landscaping years ago. Well, I just so happened to find my way into it, and I do. I work on cars. He worked on cars. My grandfather here with me now, he loves cars. I love cars. And I like to go fast, and we both do. Where, again, it's all these little hidden gems, and I feel like the older I've gotten, I'm tapping more into the generational blessings, the generational notions, the things that are just in your bloodline, things that people did well before you that had a proclivity for. And in some ways, I feel like I'm more connected to them simply because of these activities. Our grandmother loved to bowl. I didn't know that, but Bobby bowls. And she did a lot of things. That she danced, and she did a lot of stuff like that. And I've done DNA tests, and in my DNA it says, you have an affinity towards that. You actually enjoy dance. And I geek out, and I actually watch dance videos, and I don't dance, but I love them for some weird ass reason. So again, it's little stuff like that, but you've got to be willing to give yourself exposure, give yourself the opportunity to breathe, give yourself the opportunity to see something new, to try something new. Who gives a fuck what it turns out to be? Who cares if you're black and it's like you're not supposed to be skiing? Who gives a fuck? Go do it. Or well, you're at whatever age you are and you shouldn't be over here doing this. Who the fuck said I shouldn't be? Right? Who says that? Because again, this is my experience, and I'm here as much as I know, maybe for one time. I'm gonna live the most richest experience that I can possibly do. So as I put things in the atmosphere, I put things out. Hey, this is something I'm curious about. And I allow spirit, I allow God, I allow the universe to bring those things to me. And instead of just sitting on them and considering them coincidences, I just try them. I move on them. And what it turns out to be will what it turns out to be. But I refuse to not give myself the opportunity to try something new, to see something new, to have a new experience and a new story, and creating core memories that I'll be able to tell my great grandchildren about, or write about, or talk to you guys about. So that's my piece on that. And I'm really passionate about that. And it hurts my heart to see people that don't allow themselves to have the rich experience that they ultimately could, and the experience that they ultimately deserve.
Yeah. I guess my point to that would be, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess what you're just saying is that just if you want to do something, don't let someone else's opinions or um keep you from experiencing things, because you just never know. It could be part of your lineage, and it may be something you actually enjoy, and you only have one life to live. So don't hesitate to live it.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't hesitate.
Yep, I agree.
And
I don't. I mean, we just don't know. You just don't know how long you have and how long you'll be here, and you don't know. Um, what you don't try. But at the same time, I also feel like one thing that I've kind of come into the realization for myself is that I'm really okay with not trying different things, and that was part of you the White Sands experience for me. Is that, yeah, I acted like a little brat. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, but
mhm,
I wouldn't have known was not interested unless I experienced it. So I don't regret it. So what my takeaway was that, just to use that as an example, and then we'll wrap it up. And I thank everybody for coming. But it's like I wanted to step out and do something that, you know, for the most part, is not something I would probably like. You right? And
mhm,
but I didn't know what I don't know. So um that's why you can't have regrets. You got to try things. I didn't have any reason not to do it. My cousin was here for the first time. It was an experience. I had to work that week, so there were a lot of time that I could not spend with him, because I had to work. So this was the weekend, and it was a chance to experience something. My sis had gone a couple of times before, and so it was a lot behind it. I ended up, being frustrated, for whatever reason. So, but you do have to, but I am very self-aware. Okay.
mhm.
Now,
Very
when it
much.
comes to, my family, like, if I'm gonna be a bitch, I'm gonna be a bitch. Sometimes I just don't give a fuck. That's what it comes down to. I said what I said. I mean what the fuck I said. I don't want to be here. Okay. Now, it wasn't right. So after I stopped cussing, I knew in the moment. It didn't take me long. That I'm not gonna win this. I'm 4 hours away from home. I can't walk. I can't on the way back. So you're gonna either fucking enjoy the shit and not ruin it for everybody else.
I
And
love that.
so I mean, in a moment, and I had something like that happen too. My thing was, I got out the car when they parked. Whatever. Now at this point, uh, are we related? Yes, he's like my brother. Okay, so after we cussed at each other for a second, then it was like fuck you too, and then I put my earphones in and I said fuck them all. Okay, what? I'm trapped.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's like, bitch. I'm talking now. Here's the self-talk, bitch. What you gonna do? You gonna sit here, or you gonna get outside and walk in the fucking white
sand.
sand, bitch? You done came this far. You mean to tell me you ain't gonna get no content? Okay, fuck it. I get out, and I'm like, now I still got a little attitude. Okay, he gets out, walks one way. Fuck you, nigga. I get out, and I'm going this way, nigga. It was like Jesus' footprints in the sand. I'll show you. Nigga, my footprints are the Lord's. And so I walked as far as I could walk before I got scared that I wouldn't be able to find my way back. And I turned my eyes around and I came back. And then we loved each other home. And we went to McDonald's. Okay, so that's the end of that. But anyway, I don't regret it. I don't regret it.
You know what? She's not even embellishing. Like, this is how the shit happened. This is exactly how.
And my husband said,
"What? He said, I knew you shouldn't have went."
My husband straight up told me, "You just didn't want to be left out. Now you knew you wasn't gonna like no shit like that." And it was right. I was being a brat. I didn't want to be left out, Susan. Now, I really didn't know what to expect, though. In all fairness, I really did. It's a forest. I didn't know it's some kind of national forest. I didn't know. First of all, I thought it was water there. My sister had to correct me, said there's no water. When you say sand, I'm thinking a beach. It's no water. It's a desert. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so that's that. Okay, I love you, Jake. Okay, we love everybody, right?
We love you guys.
We love you guys for listening to us, and you know, you could be homeless next week. That's a takeaway from the first story. Treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't be so quick to judge. Get to know people. Also, the takeaway for me was listen, because a lot of times people are just talking and not listening, and that's not cool either. You get to a point where you get old enough where you can listen, and it's okay to disagree and to see things differently and to respect each other. And another takeaway for me was let's be aware. I know this is the age of social media and all of that, but we also want to be aware of respecting people's privacy and their space. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's be fair too. And that's for all of us, you know. Like, I'm with my sister a lot of times. She don't like being on camera. I try to. Jason, remember we were at the table? Jason was like trying to avoid her in the camera because she doesn't want to be in it. And
respect. Respect. And guess what? And she wasn't in the video. I smooth circled around that motherfucker real quick and easy.
As he's
you ain't that shit. Why I want you in my video and you don't want to be in the motherfucker? Who you think I am? Shit. Oh, you ain't got to tell me but one time.
You like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, man, I couldn't stop laughing.
This is my social media, goddamn it. Trust me. Whoever's in my videos, them niggas want to be in the motherfuckers when they in them. I tell you that.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
I like this shot, Jason. I mean, okay. So what was your takeaway really quick?
So the takeaway on the first one for me was just, I think there's a context to everything. And too often, I think we limit the opportunities and possibilities. There are certain things that could potentially be deal breakers for some. And I get that. I mean, but with working with people, what you find is that we have more things in similarity and common than what we realize. And you don't know that from face value. You only find that out when you actually sit next to a person and talk to them. And you're not talking on surface level, right? You're spending time, you're getting to know someone. And I think that's the greatest thing. I think everybody is unique. I think everybody is special in their own way, because you have a story that no one would ever know unless you decided to share that story. There are gems that you've acquired. There are tools. There are abilities. And I was telling my nephew this, and I said, what's interesting, I said, I was talking to Cuzzo too, and we were talking about books. And in the statement I made, I said, when you read different authors or you read different books or you're in certain moments and you get chances to speak to people, this person might be 70 years old, and they shared something that they've acquired in their 70 years here. You may talk to another person that's 30 years old, and they share something that they've acquired in their 30 years. And then you might talk to somebody or read a book of someone who's 50 years old. Well, if you really think about it, each one of those things were experienced on a certain pathway that you would never walk, which means you would never know the message or never have be privy to that lesson had they not shared that, not in the way in which it was given to you. So in essence, that 70-year-old, that 30-year-old, and that 20-year-old or that 50-year-old, that's 150 years of information that you acquired at 40. That's 150 years that you acquired at 60. 150 years that you acquired at 20. You are just that much further ahead. So the reason, and this is the beauty, I believe, in people's stories and getting to know people for who they are, not who you want them to be. So I would say, hey, own your journey. If you're in a state of what some people might call homelessness, hey, there may be a way in which you can challenge that narrative for yourself. It doesn't have to be so. I don't work for anybody, but I'm not a jobless motherfucker. I don't never say, oh, I ain't got no job or whatever. That's not how I introduce myself. That's not how I refer to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not my story.
Yeah.
So how you frame it for
Definitely
you is
own your shit. I mean,
you gotta own it.
Have to agree with it, but
Yeah.
just own your shit, and people don't have to agree. I mean, it's not my life. It's just people are gonna have their own opinions on things. It's just the way life goes, but at the end of the day, you gotta be doing whatever you're doing for you. Nobody has to agree with it. You have to be okay with it. That's
you gotta
it.
be okay with that.
That's all. You know?
You gotta be okay with it, and let the chips fall where they may, and do not keep yourself from having the experiences that God, Spirit, the universe has given to you. Because you could live a whole ass life based on somebody else's perspective, somebody else's suggestion, and miss out on all the shit that was actually sitting here waiting for you. That was your opportunity. That's your opportunity. You remember that over there? Yeah, that was given specifically for you. And it had nothing to do with the people that you were associated with, because that wasn't their interest. That was your interest. And I'm willing to believe that most people, a lot of people who are under the sound of my voice, you have several things you can think of that you did not do because somebody else didn't want to do it with you, or somebody else wasn't going to be happy for you when you did it. Or you might even have felt guilty about having this experience and this opportunity. You know how many people that I meet that are older, well older than me, that I can honestly say they look at the way my life is, and in some ways like, man, I wish I had that. Or I never would have had that at your age, or I didn't have that at your age. I hear that shit all the time. And people say it to me without saying it, because it's sometimes it's the things they don't say and how they go about saying what they do say. But I know what that is, and I'm just grateful. I'm extremely grateful for it. My journey is what it is. I got a lot of challenges that other people haven't had to experience either, but it is my journey. So let me keep it a buck. Let me walk this journey out, and I'm gonna enjoy it for everything I can, and get all that I can out of it. And that's my hope and my prayer for everybody else. Man, live this thing, because I'm telling you, the best version of you is in the midst of that. That's when you find the best version of you. Is when you give yourself permission to be happy. You give yourself permission to have joy. You give yourself the permission to have these unique experiences that are only set aside for you.
All right, y'all. It's been real. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week. I'll be sure to keep a post. Just like I did today. I like this spot, this Wednesday spot. But just we don't know when we'll be. What day it'll be, and Dynamics has some things coming up too. So anyway, stay tuned. We appreciate you coming. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Cherokee, Chantel.
Thanks,
thank
Susan.
you so much.
Thanks. Keep it real.
Keep it real.
Thanks,
Yes,
Kents.
ma'am.
Appreciate y'all.
Everybody that was here and everybody that may watch the replay, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Good night, you guys.
I'll see you soon.